What is going on, guys? Welcome to Barrookie. In today's video, I want to inspire you to make your own DIY cable pulley machine with Weightstack. And today I'm going to show you how to make it as DIY friendly as possible with only cutting and screwing in order to get there. Now, let's go back a little bit and let's talk about some history. So, a passion project of mine was this cable pulley. I was thinking about it. I need to make a cable pulley machine under 200 euros, so that way I have something strong, something solid, something I built myself and that I can use for a very long time. Now, I did that a couple of years ago and I came up with a cable pulley design that looks like this, but was plate loaded. Boom. Right? So basically this block here accepts the weights from either side, and this goes up and down and is the resistance for every cable exercise that you're going to do. Unfortunately, this machine worked very well, but was still too much work. I still had to get my plates from there all the way up to here in order to do my exercise. And because I'm lazy, this was too much work, and I wanted to find a way to make a Weightstack for my DIY cable pulley machine. So I was thinking about it. I thought about concrete, but I don't like concrete. It's too brittle, it's not good. I thought about metal plates, but I can't weld, I can't like machine metal, so that's all out of the question. And then I thought about wood. Wood is very malleable and it's very easy to work with. You don't need a lot of skill with it. Now, obviously, if you want to do good woodworking, you obviously do need skill. But as your run-of-the-mill DIYer, I think working with wood is a lot easier than working with metal. So that's why I recommend working with wood. Now, what I did was I thought about this a lot of times and I came up with a design that's basically this thing here. Boom. So this is a Weightstack that I made out of wooden blocks, and because wood is not heavy enough, what I did was I routed out some pockets in those wooden blocks so I can put cheap weights. So basically along the lines of this thing here, this is like a 0.75 kilogram weight, but I put in 1 kilogram weights. Very cheap, it's like 2.5 euros for one plate. I put in 4 in each block. The video that I made about this Weightstack, although the Weightstack is such a game changer, it's such a lifesaver. It saves so much time, guys. But I realized also that the project here is not as DIY friendly as I thought it would be, because not everyone has a router. So I was thinking, how can I make this better and how can I make this DIY friendlier so that the viewer, you guys, can also benefit from my project and make it yourself. So I got this idea from my dad. Unfortunately, after I made these blocks already, otherwise I probably would have gone with that idea. But hey, I'm gonna use it now for this video. So basically what you're doing, instead of buying a thick block that's like 6 centimeters thick, you buy a plank and you use 3 pieces of it, like so. And that's going to make it a lot easier because that way you don't have to route anything out. What you do is you drill a hole through, you drill another hole through, and then for the third plank, you don't drill the hole So basically you create a pocket for your weight. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? And let me just like try to get out of weight so I can demonstrate it much better. So these are the little weights that I used. And look, it's still numbered from when I tried to calibrate this thing. So this goes in perfectly in here and in here, but it doesn't fall through because of this blank here. So a very nice way to add weight to a wooden structure without making it too complicated and without having to route out a lot of wood and all of that good stuff. It was a lot of work and it was a lot of thinking about how to do this. And knowing what I know now, this method of making these blocks is a lot easier. It's so much more efficient. And what's even better about this, and I didn't do this by design, but I happened to make a mistake. See, I drilled the hole in the wrong spot and then I had to re-drill the hole again. So that would be a catastrophe for this design here, because that would mean that my hole was not in the right spot and that would mean the block was ruined. It wouldn't be visually appealing, it would be just off. With this thing, it's no problem. You just wedge it between a good one and between the end plate. Boom, and you barely see the mistake, and the mistake is hidden and it's functionally not impacting the whole block. Also, if I had to remake this would be a lot easier than making the whole block again. So really, this is the way to go if you want to make a weight stack. Now, all you gotta do then is drill a hole here through this thing so that you can accept a weight pin. And then you have to make, obviously, also the weight selector rod, which is basically a galvanized steel pipe with some holes in it. But for that, I'm gonna refer you to the original video where I made this. If you're not convinced already, you're probably thinking, I see 35 on there, and I don't know if it's visible, but yes, this weight stack goes to 35 kilograms, which does not seem like a lot. In commercial gyms, you typically see weights around 70 kilos or 105, something like that. That's true, but that doesn't mean that this is not enough weight. This cable pulley is made at a 1-to-1 ratio. That means that the weight that you pull as resistance is the weight that you have on these blocks. So 5 kilo here is 5 kilo here. In a commercial gym setting, they typically use 2-to-1 ratios for pulleys. That means that you typically see a pulley wheel on the weight stack, and that cable is typically attached also to the pulley machine itself. That makes for a 2-to-1 ratio. That means that the weight you're pulling is only half of the weight that's in the weight stack, but the added advantage of that is that you can travel a lot further with your cable. Now, I opted to not make it too complicated here, so I made a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's plenty for this setup here. I can do all the exercise that I want. I can do my face pulls, my tricep extensions, all my accessory work, and 35 kilos is plenty for that. And that's where it comes to. 80% of the time, I'm not going heavier than 35 kilograms because I typically only use this for accessory exercises. Plus, it makes sure that I can change the weight very easily. Now, if I want to go higher than 35 kilograms, I have a trick for that. What I did was, on one of these blocks, and that was the middle one, I put a pole holder. And a pole holder is something you probably know from the previous video. So this thing here was my plate loaded block, and these are pole holders. So these holders, these things hold poles for construction, right? I use these pole holders and they're plenty strong. And I added one of these, only cut off to there. And I added this to the middle block. If I want to go over 35 kilograms, I just slap a weight onto that and I'm good to go. So we have the advantage of a Weightstack because it's easy to switch. And we have the advantage of a plate loaded cable pulley because we can add unlimited amount of weight if we so desire. So yeah, I really recommend you go out there, get yourself some planks, get yourself a galvanized steel pipe and start modifying your either existing cable pulley, or if you still have to start yours, get started on that cable pulley because you will not regret it. And it's so DIY friendly. Guys, I have no experience with woodworking before I started this channel. I looked at how a cable machine was built. I tried to make it as easy as possible with the skills that I have. And the only skill that I have is drilling and cutting, so there's not a lot of skill necessary here, and I came up with this design. So I'm really confident that you can do this as well. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you're now inspired to make your own DIY cable pulley machine with Weightstack, and make sure you use this, the plank method. No routing needed, and it's just so easy and forgiving. So yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Bye.